My 28 female husband 28 left me for his 20 female co-worker and refuses to come home, says he's in love with her. I 28 female and my husband 28 have been together for almost 11 years, married for nearly 1. I recently found out he is having an affair with his co-worker. He is her manager at work. They are friendly and I've allowed him to go to a mutual friend's parties with her, but I didn't notice anything serious until now. I know he drinks and smokes weed at these parties, which is unlike him. I always suspected he was attracted to, had feelings for her, but I never thought my husband to be the type to cheat. In fact, he has always been against cheating and said this is a deal breaker for him. I recently started noticing a change in him. He was very low energy, taking jabs at me here and there and trying to get me to spend more time away from home. He has also been coming home late from work a lot, and coming home chewing gum and one night smelling like weed when he doesn't smoke. I recently went home to see family, and he was normal, except for a night where I could not reach him and he said he was asleep. When I got home, we had a very emotional fight after him saying he didn't know about our marriage when I asked him. But he was in tears and begging me not to leave. I thought we would be able to fix our marriage. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I've done a lot for my husband and I felt we were genuinely in love. We did nearly everything together and were like best friends. We've had dry spells here and there, but would always come out of them, and to me, the sex was still extremely satisfying with him, and he always seems into it. In fact, the night I came home from my trip, we were intimate and he was saying how much he missed me. The night I found out, I saw he had 17,000 deleted texts between the two of them. He got extremely defensive and wouldn't let me see the texts. I tried to lock myself in our room to read them, and he burst through the door and tackled me to grab the phone. He ran out of the house barefoot and angry to permanently delete the texts. I called her in front of him when he came back in the house, and he was straight-faced the entire time. She admitted she's been helping him with mental health issues, and they kissed a few weeks ago at work. Come to find out, this kiss happened after he had a panic attack at work, which he's never struggled with before. She claims she cares for him, but not romantically, which he seemed bothered by. I left to stay with a friend. He didn't call me or try to reconcile, but I saw he called her that night, and a few nights since then she has also been over his friend's house where he is staying. He's shown absolutely no remorse except for a text he sent me almost a week ago saying he loves me. But he's not good right now, and maybe in the future, if I'm still willing, we can try again. This was obviously not good enough for me. I've had to coax information out of him, and he admitted he's not in love with me anymore, and this would have happened either way. This was a shock because we got married 9 months ago, and he was in tears our entire wedding day, and absolutely beaming. He was also reassuring me that I'm his life and there was no one else, and telling me how much he loves me. We were even planning a vacation together before this happened. He says he is depressed and has been confiding this in her, but claimed it was nothing more. He has already moved out of our apartment and deleted me off of all of his social media, and added her. I've been begging him to come home and reconcile, but he claims he has too much going on. There's nothing to fix and he doesn't want to put in the effort for it to fail. He makes no effort to call or try to speak to me. I've learned from his brother that he called him one night when I was home, being extremely aggressive, asking for his Netflix password and speaking nonsensically, which is very unlike my husband. He is also avoiding his family and old friends who would not condone his behavior. I recently discovered his deal is between him and the co-worker, and he has been professing his love for her, saying he never knew love until he met her. She's all he wants. Everything was hard until he met her, and I also discovered they have been having sex quite a lot. They haven't even gone on proper dates yet. So I'm quite confused how he can be professing this deep love to her and throwing away 11 years as well as his stability and potentially his job for this woman. This behavior is completely unlike him. He has always been very loving, kind-hearted, and logical. I have wondered if he is on drugs or experiencing a mental health episode. No one in his life recognizes this person or his behavior, and his family is shocked and disappointed. Any advice? Could this be limerence? I'm so sad to see my relationship end this way, and I don't recognize this person. We haven't spoken in days. Story 2. He was having an affair while I was trying to have his baby. A little recap of my shitshow is after my second miscarriage, I found out my husband cheated on me. He apologized, begged, and cried that if I stayed with him, we would get serious about a baby. As if I wasn't already, I see he was just manipulating me. He allowed me to stop working, so I could dedicate everything to having a full-term pregnancy, healthy baby. I did everything right. I followed a strict diet, made sure I exercised as much as I should, wore a mask everywhere I went, avoided all the bad things, I was almost full term when my son was stillborn when he came out. He wasn't crying, and my husband let go of my hand and left the room. I thought he just needed some fresh air or something, but he didn't come back. I had to deal with the after all by myself. His mom was the one who finally responded to me, saying he was filing for divorce. I found out he moved nearly all the money from our account before he mysteriously lost his card to get the account frozen. We were renting from his parents, who changed the locks while I was recovering in the hospital, and they threw my cat out without me knowing. His mom told me that her son was grieving and that I can't hold it against him for ending our marriage, because he is at the age where he needs to get serious about having a baby and a family. The family all went on vacation to heal. I was left with $100, my hospital bag, and an empty infant car seat. That was all almost a month ago, but today I found out he was cheating on me for the last 7 months. I don't know if it is the same girl that he cheated with previously. He made me be completely dependent on him, alienated me from friends, co-workers, and made sure I wasn't working so I wouldn't be able to support myself, have any independence, or backup plan, but him and he left. If he wanted this younger, healthier girl, why go to the fertility doctor? Why keep trying with me? We were in a position where I was okay with separating. I had an apartment. I still had a job. I went back. I now have nothing and no one. He moved in with her and is going to try to outmoney me in court. I guess once a cheater, always a cheater is true. Story 3. My fiancé went to a massage parlor. A couple of weeks ago, my female 32 fiancé 31 male came home from work late. I was supposed to be getting my nails done after work, but my manicurist canceled last minute. So I messaged my fiancé to let him know that I'd be around to make us dinner when he didn't reply. I checked his location to see if he'd left work yet so I could start cooking. Totally normal for us. We both share our location at all times with each other and our families, and noticed he was in a completely random part of town, not on his usual route home. I didn't think anything of this until an hour later, and he was in the same location. He finally arrived home, and I asked what he was doing in that part of town, thinking he'd stopped by a friend's place, given a colleague a lift home, and he denied being there. Obviously, I knew he was lying, and this felt like a gut punch. So I questioned further, and he admitted going to a massage parlor for a happy ending. I went through all the emotions you'd expect. He apologized profusely and took ownership of the situation, said it was the first and only time he'd done it, etc. His reasoning was the night before he'd felt rejected. I was on my period and felt completely unattractive, so I asked if we could wait a day or two until my period stopped. We kissed and said goodnight as normal, so nothing was said to indicate he felt rejected. He's since reached out to therapists, has done an STI test. I requested this test to ensure my health wasn't affected, has written me letters, and honestly been the all-round great partner that he's always been previously. But now the trust is broken, I'm struggling to go back to normal, and find myself in tears randomly throughout the day. I know people say that time heals, But actually it's time I'm now most concerned about. We're due to be married early next year, and I'm finding it super difficult to picture us saying our vows, making promises to each other that are supposed to last a lifetime. I genuinely believe that he'll be great and honest and trustworthy for the foreseeable, but do I believe the same about the rest of our lives? I'm now not so sure. If he can slip up after 6 years, am I really expected to believe he won't again in the 40-plus years we'll spend together? Story 4. Just found out my husband has been sleeping with strippers on work trips. I can't believe this is my reality. I just don't know what to do anymore. I've been lied to for about a year or more. I just found out that my husband has been cheating on me constantly. He travels a lot for work, and I guess every time he has a free night, he would go to a strip club, exchange numbers with a stripper, and bring them back to his hotel to have oral or internal sex. I only found out because he got caught by one of my friends that saw him out in an NYC bar, buying a girl drinks, flirting with her, touching her butt, and then bringing her back to the hotel. I'm so devastated. I've been contemplating to leave, but we have 2 small children, and it would be so hard without him in my life. We made a lot of money together as well, and I don't want the courts to split everything in half. I don't even know if I can get alimony, because we both do well in our careers. I can't even fathom another girl touching him in a sexual way. If he ever cheats again, I am going to divorce 100%, and it's going to be expensive and hard, and it would be the saddest day. Does anyone have any experience of their husbands who stopped this behavior? Does it stop? Or once a cheater, always a cheater? Should I hire a private investigator for next time he travels? I'm so lost and sad, I just needed to stop. Any ideas or advice from ladies who were successful in getting their husbands to stop? I tried to get to the bottom of why this all happened, and he said, because I nag him a lot and the stress of kids, etc. It was his way of escaping, and he said, he knows it's really f***ed up, and he said he doesn't deserve me and he's a monster. I told him if it ever happens again, I will be filing for divorce the next day, and he will lose everything. Everything will be split 50-50 as if he's lucky. Oh, and I also found out because he gave me an STD. So I would sue him if we ever got a divorce for lifelong health damages. Am I crazy for staying? Of course it hurts, and I want to hurt him the way he hurt me. But I do know so many women who get cheated on and they stay. Why do some women stay? Story 5. Been 8 months and I'm still feeling shit. I 25 male was with my ex 25 female for 4.5 years. It became long distance due to my job, but I was home every weekend. Back in May last year, I came back from a deployment and was mentally and emotionally broken. I wanted to leave this job. We had a discussion about me leaving, or we can get a house and I would stick it out, because I wanted to give her everything I could. First mistake. Fast forward to October, my birthday, I started promotion course and tried to juggle everything. But the first month is always hectic. She started acting iffy on 2 different occasions. Mid-November, she breaks up with me, roughly 2 weeks before the house was finalized. End of November, I get a message from a girl I knew from my childhood, asking about my ex and said she found messages between her boyfriend and my girlfriend of a sexual nature. I was broken. I confronted my ex and she said it's been going on since the beginning of October. She then turns everyone against me by telling a bullshit story. I found out last week she has just bought a house with him in the same area my parents live, whom I live with when I'm back from the military. It's destroyed me so much, especially since I opened up about previous issues I had due to a past trauma. I've been trying to work through it with therapy. I've had to go on pills and have had dark thoughts. I have no trust in people, and I haven't even got the energy to get out of bed. I really loved her, and now I'm afraid I can't love anyone else or am good enough.